I would have to agree that anyone who does know about the law will tell you these exceptions aren't exceptions at all. But not because they're way too vague, because there really doesn't seem to be any exceptions to this law. Now, maybe you're thinking of exemptions, which is a whole different thing. An exception to a law would be like if, you murdered somebody, but the reason you did it is because they killed your two brothers. You might get an exception and reduced sentence, but that's still within the confinements of what's already set by the standards of that law and a minimum sentence and all of that. Now, an exemption would mean that in a circumstance where you murdered somebody, it isn't illegal. So, like, for instance, if someone tried to mug you and you stabbed them and you killed them, you're exempt from murder because that's the exemption. And whoever you're talking to that's telling you that this law is way too vague just shows that you have never talked to anybody that knows about the law in your whole life. Because I'm about to show you in real time how this law can basically get you an abortion just because you don't want to have a kid. And I'm going to show you how. Although it seems too vague, the specifics of certain things in here make it so it's almost impossible. In fact, it would be impossible to ever charge a doctor for giving an abortion in Texas. Only if you know the law. Reasonable medical judgment obviously means it has to come from a verified medical source such as a doctor of such. You know what else are doctors? Therapists. Let's say you go to your therapist and claim that you're stressed, and you're a therapist and you know each other, so under the circumstances that you're stressed, and that could lead to depression, and that could also lead to suicidal thoughts, under his reasonable medical judgment, because mental illnesses can be a medical issue too, you are now allowed to get the abortion under the circumstances that you're too stressed, you can't handle the baby, the idea of the baby is making you depressed, and that it could lead to a life-threatening scenario. And under that stipulation, they don't have to get it approved by the court. They don't have to go to court. It doesn't say they have to go to court. With that being said, you don't have to ask permission. The minute you ask permission, you've proven that you're not making reasonable medical judgment, because you'd be doing the operation instead of asking the law, which it clearly states right here that the only decision that could be made in this scenario is a reasonable medical one. So the judge couldn't even determine if this was illegal or not. So it doesn't even matter. You can literally get an abortion for any reason at all, as long as you consult a doctor. The only reason this is all happening is because the lawyers that these people are getting, because they're paranoid, because of this, the idea that they might go to jail over it, are taking advantage of them. That's all. That's all this is. This isn't a right-wing, left-wing debate. This is just what's going on. Oh, and one last thing. Stop acting like you know my opinion on abortion anyway, because I clearly state in my video that I didn't put my opinion in there, so stop acting as if you know it.